The night was unusually still, so still that even the walls seemed to breathe with a kind of silent expectation. Anna sat on the edge of the couch, her hands clasped tightly together, her eyes fixed on the small row of security monitors glowing faintly in the dark. The cameras had been her idea, born out of sleepless nights, whispers in the hall, and an unshakable dread that something inside this house wasn't as it seemed. For months now, she had lived with her husband's mother, Galina Ivanovna, a woman who had once been fierce and commanding, but was now a silent, motionless figure confined to a wheelchair. The stroke had taken everything, her speech, her movement, her dignity, or so everyone believed. But strange things had begun to happen ever since her husband left for work trips. The sound of footsteps pacing at midnight, the piano playing faintly in the drawing room, though it had been locked for years. And once, just once, Anna had heard someone softly humming her name. When she confronted her husband about it, he laughed. "You're tired," he said gently, brushing her hair back. "Mama hasn't moved in 5 years. It's in your head." Maybe it was, but the unease never left. So tonight, when Galina's breathing from the next room turned uneven, and the shadows in the hall seemed to stretch too far, Anna made her choice. She placed cameras in every corner, one in the living room, one in the hallway, one facing the front door, and one above the bed where her mother-in-law slept. She told herself it was for peace of mind. But deep down, she wanted proof. Proof that she wasn't losing her mind. The clock struck midnight. Rain pattered against the window, soft at first, then harder, a rhythm that filled the silence between heartbeats. Anna leaned closer to the monitor, her breath shallow. Galina's room was dimly lit by the night lamp. The old woman lay still, her thin hands resting on the blanket, her face ghost pale against the pillow. Minutes passed. Then the screen flickered. At first, Anna thought it was just interference. But then Galina's fingers twitched. Once, twice. Her eyes opened, slow and deliberate. Anna froze. Her hand, trembling, went to the volume control. The faint rustle of movement echoed from the feed. Galina turned her head toward the camera, staring directly into the lens. A chill went through Anna so hard she almost dropped the remote. Her breath hitched as the old woman, paralyzed, speechless, helpless, began to move. She pushed back the blanket, swinging her legs over the side of the bed with deliberate strength. The motion was jerky, unnatural, as though she were remembering how to control her own body. Her feet touched the cold tiles. She stood, spine straightening slowly until she was upright. Anna's mind reeled. She hadn't walked in 5 years. The woman began to walk. Slowly, her thin figure drifted toward the door. The hallway camera caught her next, bare feet padding lightly against the floor, her nightgown brushing the tiles. The sound of each step came through the monitor's tiny speaker, measured and sure. Anna couldn't breathe. Her throat closed up as tears pricked her eyes. "This can't be real," she whispered, but it was. In the next second, the feed from the living room camera blinked, and Galina appeared at the doorway, staring into the room where Anna sat. Anna's blood ran cold. She turned her head in disbelief, and there she was. The same hollow eyes, the same pale nightgown, the same faint smell of lavender that always clung to her sheets. Only now she was standing, Galina Ivanovna. Anna whispered, her voice shaking. How are you?" The old woman smiled faintly, the corners of her mouth twitching upward as if remembering how to use her face. "You wanted to see," she said, her voice soft but clear. Anna took a step back, nearly tripping over the coffee table. "You can talk?" "I always could," Galina murmured, "just not to those who refuse to listen." Her gaze drifted to the monitors behind Anna. On the screen, her own figure still stood in the bedroom, motionless, asleep. Anna turned, confusion flooding her. She looked from the living Galina to the ghostly one on the screen. "I don't understand." The old woman's eyes gleamed faintly in the dark. "You wanted proof. Now you have it. But you shouldn't have looked." The temperature in the room dropped sharply. The lights flickered, and the rain outside grew louder, more insistent. The monitors glitched again, then all four screens showed Galina at once. In every room, standing, staring, Anna gasped, stumbling backward until her shoulder hit the wall. "What are you?" "Your memory," Galina whispered. "Your punishment." And then she was gone. The house fell silent again, except for the relentless ticking of the clock. The monitors showed only empty rooms, still and dark. Anna's reflection stared back at her from the screen, pale, trembling, eyes wide with disbelief. She slowly reached for the remote, pressing rewind. The footage played back at double speed. Galina never moved. The old woman lay in her bed the entire time, lifeless and still. Anna's breath came shallow. She replayed it again and again. Nothing changed. Her hand flew to her mouth. Her pulse pounded in her ears. Then, behind her, the floor creaked. She turned slowly, dread flooding her veins. In the dim light by the doorway stood Galina. The same faint smile curved her lips. Only this time, her shadow on the floor stretched too long, reaching almost to Anna's feet. The camera light blinked once. Then everything went dark.